Really proud of our team. To hold Xavier to 38% shooting the first half, both getting to him on the three-point line, making him take some tough ones there, and then, really being physical at the rim and making some of those difficult, enabled us to stretch it out a little. And like every good team, like they are, they're going to make a run. They made a run, and then I thought Baylor's hustle play, dive into the floor, and then we get a basket in transition, flip that momentum right back to us. So, we took their best shot and were able to respond. Really proud of our group on both ends of the floor today. We shared the basketball, won the rebounding battle, and beat a very, very good team.
Questions for the student athletes first.
Ryan, Wednesday or Thursday, Max said they weren't quite sure what to do with Sule. What did you do today to limit him as much as you did?
Just try to be physical. Trying to push up at the point of the screen and make it tough for him to make those mid-range shots. He's a great player. He's been playing great all year, and I just try to make it tough on him. You gotta kind of make good players shoot shots they don't want to, and I feel like we did an okay job of that tonight. Pretty good job.
For either of you, in that Providence game, it felt like really the first time where you took a team's best punch and then really gave them a run back and seal the game. But today it was like you did probably twice as much as in that game. I guess talk to me about the growth in, being able to seal games and, hack runs like that.
Well, as a team, we've really come together during practices and really been working on playing a full 40 minutes. And once we got to that level, it became pretty much easy for us to maintain what we've been doing, like running in transition, locking up our D for the full 40 minutes, and this is the result.
Ryan, what did you see in the Xavier's ball screen coverage that allowed you to either get all the way to the rim or find Kalk on the flip-up?
They play drop coverage. Same kind of principles that we play. They try and make you make tough twos. I was just making my reads, whether it was flip up, get to the rim, throwback. So just watching my film, coaches prepare us, I prepare myself, and just ready for anything.
Art, it felt like in the first half, probably throughout the whole game, you didn't really get the best whistle, but there was that one possession I think you had like 3 old boards. It seemed like the fight was there. Just how bad did you want this win?
I wanted to win this game bad. Last year they got us here, but I felt like this was the year that we could prove them wrong. Like we could get this one out, so did what we had to do.
R2, when defending Boone, did you ever think back to Xavier, the game in Cincy? Did you take that personally when it came to defending him?
Yeah, a little bit, but not really. Just want to do anything to help us win, and we know he's a big part of their team. We know he's their engine. He gets them going. So anything I could do to help us win, and tonight that was defending and making it tough on him. So I think we did a solid job of that.
For either guy, what's the mindset now that you've kind of inserted yourself back into the Big East title race? What's the mindset going forward in order to maintain and
keep going? Don't be satisfied with this. We know how things can switch, so we just got to keep locking in our practice, keep having the same mentality, same approach to practice every single day. If we want to win the Big East, we gotta win a lot of games. Rest of the year, the year's not over. We got a lot of things to improve on, and just keep growing, keep getting better step by step.
Ryan, what do you think this game showed, just as far as a performance standpoint, and kind of bouncing back from that rough stretch you guys had?
Yeah, it just shows that I feel like we're still one of the better teams in the country. We know who we are. We've been working towards it. It's been a work in progress all year. We knew there was gonna be ups and downs in the year. It wasn't gonna be all sunshine lollipops, but it's been good, man. We're continuing to get better, and it's just gonna help us grow for the rest of the year.
2 more for the guys.
Either guy, just the atmosphere today, sellout crowd. What was it like to play in front of that crowd? How much did they help you out?
It was a big help. Playing at home is always fun, having the crowd cheer for us, and I feel like today it was something a lot bigger than basketball. And so there was a lot of people here to support us, and I'm just glad that we could get this win for them.
Art, if I may, were you aware of Xavier's foul situation? It seemed like you were getting downhill and attacking the guys that were in foul trouble throughout the game. Did you know that they were that would be something you could do based on that situation?
Yeah, I was definitely aware of the foul trouble, but also I felt like, I got a chance to score here. Let me go try to get a bucket.
All right, thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
Questions for Coach?
Mac, in the first half when their front court was experiencing some foul trouble, and Miller goes to the lineup with Edwards and 4 guards. Did it kind of feel like they were on the ropes there? I know basketball is a game of runs, but what did that feel like?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually the lineup that created the separation in Cincinnati when they went to that small lineup. So we hadn't seen it a lot prior to that, so we were a little more prepared for it this time. But he's actually probably played 50% of his minutes since our game with 4 guards and a big. So we were a little bit more prepared for it this time, and obviously made a concerted effort to try to get that inside to Kalkbrenner during that stretch. Fred made a couple great plays as well.
Xavier's success correlates pretty well with Sule playing well. How did you come up with the plan to give R2 that assignment?
Well, we didn't to start the game. It was Trey, and then Trey got the quick foul, and we just decided to flip R2, and we were going to try to get to the 8-minute mark, I think, is what we decided as a staff, and then we'd flip it back. But Ryan was doing such a great job of getting through ball screens and not getting hit that we just wrote it, and he did a terrific job. Trey was doing a great job at the start of the game, and it's just one of those things. You get a hot guy offensively, but you can also get a guy that's really locked in and understand what he has to do defensively. And to R2's credit, he was ready when we flipped him over on him.
Do you feel like you're back to where you were in the Maui trip yet? Or?
No, I think we're better than where we were in the Maui trip. I mean, certainly defensively, we're better. I think Baylor has he was the new guy that had to gain an understanding of kind of what we do and how we do it. And 3 of those guys were 5 or 6 games into their sophomore season, so they're learning and growing as well in a different role with a different level of expectation on their shoulders. So they've adjusted to that. We got through a tough time. We stayed together during that tough time despite, a lot of people thinking the house was burning down. We just stayed with our plan and talked about, daily progress like we always do. And we're getting better. We got a long ways to go, but, it's halfway the conference point. We put ourselves back in position where we can be discussed in the conference race, and that wasn't the case a couple weeks ago.
When you factor in both ends of the floor, where does that performance by R2 fall in line in terms of? I mean, I don't think he came out until the game was wrapped up.
No, except for the 5 turnovers, which we talked about in the hallway, of course. He was terrific. He got in there and got some rebounds. Guys are blocking out, and he's the engine that drives the pace of our offense. And then today, defensively, he was a pest on Sule and made his life really difficult. He hadn't had many games like that this year, and that's really a credit to Trey and R2 for their good work.
As far as an unselfish performance today, just kind of what did you see from your guys out there when you've got 5 of them in double figures?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to share the ball. I mean, the last play of the half, I think, is, if you want to draw up a perfect play in my mind of what basketball should look like, it's, we come down and there's 6 seconds left and one guy passes the guy for an open shot, and he turns it down and passes to another and passes to another, and they shoot it on the buzzer. Just that kind of unselfish play, and then understanding that Kalkbrenner had an advantage once they got in some foul trouble and finding a way to get him touches and letting him go to work. You have to be able to do that. You have to be able to adjust your game plan kind of based on what's going on with the other team. And Ryan and Fred were big in there, going, what were they, 10 for 11 between them.
2 more for Coach.
When you look at, most of Xavier's 2-point offense today came on kind of 10 feet and beyond. They weren't really able to be that successful around the rim. I guess, what did you feel like Kalkbrenner and King did specifically to make it really, really difficult, even if they didn't get block shots?
Well, fortunately, our plan at Xavier was so poorly executed that they didn't know what we were trying to do. So what we did today actually worked in the first half. We did some late switching with the 2 bigs. And some of those ball screen actions, and we're able to rotate over. And we wanted to take away the layups, and we just felt there were too many layups in Cincinnati. Let's try to turn those into 10 to 15 footers, and then we'll roll the dice as long as we're taking their shooters off the 3-point line. So it was executed really well the first half. Wasn't quite as good the second half. We get it down in front of their bench, it's a little harder to communicate to your team what's coming. But for the most part, I thought we did a good job with it.
Did last year's big halftime lead against these guys ever cross your mind today or leading up to the game this week?
We've talked about it this week. We didn't really talk about it much today. Our message was like, we got an opportunity here, up 14. Let's try to create some separation. And as I said earlier, like every good team, we knew they were going to have a run in them, and they did. But we were able to sustain that and put it away in the end.
I know they only played 6 minutes, but did Mason's defense give you guys a jump
Really
start
good.
today?
Yeah, he really fought, kept it out of the post, and I thought I was going to go back with him the second half, but Art was playing so well, and the timeouts were a little longer today, a couple of them, so guys got a little extended rest, so we didn't go to it as much. But Mason did some really good things. Before I end, I just again want to thank our community for their support of this event. Every year I think that it can't get better, and somehow it always does. And more people get on board. The Nebraska Cancer Specialist did a $30,000 match for funds raised at the game today to go towards cancer research and the Hope Lodge. But it's pretty incredible what takes place here and how people have embraced it. And obviously we want to rid the world of cancer at some point. That's our goal. But we also want to make an impact on the people's lives that are currently battling the disease. I was out at the Hope Lodge yesterday and spent a half hour there, and listened to a story. A gentleman by the name of Tony Miller, who actually was at Wayne State playing football when I was there, right at the end of my career, who had a double form of leukemia and spent 100 days in the Hope Lodge here in Omaha. He's a young guy. He was a runner and wanted to run half marathons. And the Coaches versus Cancer room in the Hope Lodge is the exercise room. And Tony told me for 100 straight days he walked a half marathon in that room to keep him motivated, to keep his mind off cancer, to keep him in the fight. And that's a lot of this money is going to, we helped build the building, and now we're supporting it to keep it open. But this money is having real impact on real people that are at a very difficult time of their lives. And we're making a difference. We're making their life easier. And yesterday it hit me in the face when Tony told me a story. And he couldn't be at the game today because he's celebrating his 4th anniversary of being cancer-free today. And they thought they had a better plan than coming to this game. But I appreciate our community and our administration and how people have supported it. And I'll end by saying, part of the reason we do this is to, again, stand on a mountaintop and scream about the need for early detection in the fight against cancer. And if one person will go get screened and something gets caught early and their life is saved because of that, this makes it all worth it. So talk to your friends, talk to your loved ones. If there's age-appropriate screening that needs to take place, let's make sure it gets done. Thanks.